All right, let's do it, everybody. How we doing? Happy Monday. Welcome to the first pre-market prep of this week, this fine January 8th, 2024 day. I'm your host, Adam Holland, stock options expert market strategist, and fellow 1% enthusiast. We're here to continue to get 1% better each and every day of 2024. Watch that compound and return to us in both fiscal and fulfilling ways, right? At the end of the day, money is the means to freedom, right? Freedom to be able to pursue exactly what it is that fuels you, what fills your cup up, and not what drains it. And I'm excited that we can all be in this, mutual pursuit of making this life the only life we have, right? The best one possible. So, good morning. Hope everybody had a great week, had a great Sunday night sleep, and you're ready to get after it here this fine week. Hope everybody's in good health. Again, I feel like everybody is kind of fighting this flu, trying to stay away from it, whatever it is going around. So I've been fortunate enough to do so thus far, but it's definitely because of the help of my mother, who is, as you guys know, just fully, into and devoted to this health grind. And, I stopped by the house and I had, you know, five different teas, these different, herbal concoctions. And right as I felt like I might be coming down with something, it's really helped. So, yeah, it's always nice to, have that family member that is plugged in and, super just aware. I don't know if you guys have had her fire cider before, but absolutely amazing. Great stuff. But anyways, that's just, me sharing the fact that I've been pumping up my vitamins and taking in all my holistic remedies as well. And I feel like, just make sure that you're staying on top of it. Maybe give people more fist bumps than anything, because it's like even watching football, all these people are missing because of illness, right? I'm sure at your job, same thing, people calling out left and right. So it's just that time of year. So make sure that you stay safe. If you are feeling under the weather, I'm sorry about that. Stay hydrated. I'm praying for your speedy recovery because we should all be able to enjoy each and every day. So without further ado, let's dive into what we have going on this week. So I'm going to go back and then pull up the week ahead. You guys know every Monday we have our deluxe session. So we're going over the groundwork for the week. And we're going to start heating up here because we're moving into earnings season, right? We're moving into earnings season. Banks will report soon. Banks have been something that we've been on top of, really been a big fan of. And, Bank of America reaching that weekly PT number one for that large weekly double bottom last week on Friday. That was nice. Bank of America paying up. It's nice you can get the opposite from the bank. The bank is requesting money from you, but you're making money off the bank. It's a beautiful setup. And let's see if banks can continue to do that for us here. So our top news, the first full trading week of 2024, we'll see some conferences keep investors on their toes. The biggest release on the economic calendar will be the U.S. inflation report on January 11th, as markets continue to factor in the likelihood and timing of monetary policy easing. The December CPI report is expected to show headline inflation and the core rate rising 0.3% month over month. Other notable data releases include consumer credit, international trade balance, and the producer price index. The Q4 earnings season begins officially on January 12th with United Health Group, ticker UNH, JP Morgan Chase, ticker JPM, Bank of America, ticker BAC, Wells Fargo, ticker WFC, BlackRock, ticker BLK, Delta Airlines, ticker DAL, and Bank of New York Mellon, whose ticker is BK, are all stepping into the line of fire. So it's that time again, earnings season. We got banks kicking us off, and this time it'll actually be very interesting. I feel like this will be one of the few times this, earnings round and then in the ones to come where banks will really be, kind of superstars and really have a lot more eyes on them than they normally do. Normally it's your tech companies, and that's always important. But I feel like now, especially with rates, expected to go down, the guidance that's given by these banks is going to be crucial. So I'm not expecting for, these banks to have a crap ton more revenue or something they were supposed to have, because rates have not started going down yet. But we've talked about how guidance is super important. Throw 3 in the chat if you've ever heard me say that, about how guidance is very important when it comes to the move that a stock makes after the earnings report. If they can give great guidance, then banks can see another push up, a renewed push up after the big one they've already experienced with these breakouts over the past few weeks. So in terms of other earnings or companies reporting earnings, Albertsons Companies, ticker ACI, reports on Tuesday. Option trading implies a double-digit swing in share price for Tilray Brands. I mean, that's again, just going to be a complete crapshoot there. Infosys reports on Thursday, ticker INFY. I believe they are getting acquired or doing some acquiring, so that might be worth looking into. I was looking over something this morning, just like reading in bed about. I was waiting for my alarm to go off. I don't know if you guys like that either, but I feel like I beat my alarm most mornings, and I'm like, all right. But I think Infosys is getting acquired by someone, so that might be worth checking into. Again, their ticker is INFY. So even if it doesn't end up going through, could make for a nice scalp or a nice trade or short swing. Because we know how tough it is for mergers and acquisitions to go through under this administration. Not a lot have gone through. In terms of the earnings spotlight on Thursday, January 12th, United Health Group reports, UNH, JP Morgan Chase, BAC, Wells Fargo, BlackRock, Delta Airlines, and Bank of New York Mellon. So really Thursday is going to be the big day of the week. Thursday is huge. So actually, wait, is that supposed to be? I think this might be a typo because above this is Thursday, January 11th, and then beneath it says Thursday, January 12th. So let's see, what date do we have? Friday. So Friday, the big day. That little typo here. So you always check, keep your head on a swivel. But Friday, January 12th, that's going to be the biggest for earnings this week. Let's also make sure we got our Market Watch calendar up in the background. So Monday, January 8th. Okay, making sure it's today. We get consumer credit news, not very important. Trade deficit tomorrow. Wholesale inventories Wednesday at 10 a.m. That's one of those 10 a.m. pieces of information that can cause some volatility, but it's nothing huge. Thursday, initial jobless claims and CPI. So we get inflation data on Thursday. So Thursday and Friday are really the biggest day. PPI on Friday, right? So Thursday CPI, Friday PPI, Friday big banks report earnings. So those are going to be the heavy days for this week that you want to keep in mind, right? That you want to be aware of. Let's see. Martin Luther King Jr. holiday. Is the market closed for that? I see that that's on the docket for next week. I don't know, but something to keep in mind. I hope not. I love you, Martin Luther King Jr., right? You did a lot of amazing stuff, but like we just got our first full week of market movement. We're just about to this week. Like, let us get another week of that. Well, all like all respect, right? All due respect. I've had time off, right? Give me full work weeks, please, and thank you. Let's see here. IPO watch. Nothing super important here that I am seeing. Let's scroll. Events, JP Morgan Annual Healthcare Conference preview. So JP Morgan Healthcare Conference, typically one of the biggest healthcare conferences of the year. Anything important? So some of the notable companies to watch include Johnson & Johnson, Moderna, Abbott Laboratories, Alpine Immune Sciences, Baxter International, CVS Health, GSK PLC, and Insight. So let's see, JP Morgan, the macro and AI to be most discussed themes. The firm also expects a continued interest in value-based care, patient engagement, and the trend of consumerization of healthcare, inflation, labor shortages, and the M&A opportunities in the year ahead. Yeah, Johnson & Johnson was something we were watching last week. Overall, that space, right, that healthcare space was really strong. So we'll see if it continues to get a boost or some positive sentiment off the back of this annual healthcare conference preview. If one of these companies unveils something that could, really cause a boost, then right back in the spotlight. Now head from our week ahead and transition into our Monday specific news. All right. Oh, top news, fasten your seatbelt. This news, by the way, really weirded me out because I don't know if you guys have watched Hijack on Apple TV with Idris Elba. Okay, schools are closed. Yeah, if schools are closed, I don't know if it's the market being closed. I just got to, a Google search will yield that. But in terms of MLK Day, hopefully the market's open, right? I feel like, people march for the ability for people of all colors to make money in the market. Love if the market was still open for a full. In terms of, but yeah, I was watching a Hijack by Idris Elba, and he's in it, and I don't know. I don't want to blow any of it, but obviously it involves a plane getting hijacked, right? And that is something that has ramifications when it comes to stock price. And then I wake up on Monday, and you've got these airlines and Boeing that are tanking because of something, an emergency that happens, plane related. So I feel like it was that. And then after I watched Leave the World Behind, the Tesla recall and software update. It's just like wild. I feel like why watching these movies, watching these shows, they're like got stuff coming true in real life. But a weekend plane accident that could have ended in tragedy continues to make waves, putting a spotlight on the aerospace industry and what it might mean for one of America's leading exporters. A so called door plug on Alaska Airlines Flight 1282 blew out on Friday evening, causing the cabin aboard the Boeing 737 MAX 9 to rapidly depressurize only 6 minutes after it departed from the Portland International Airport. That is freaking terrifying. By the way, that's Alaska Airlines, a publicly traded company, ticker ALK, and then Boeing, who's also publicly traded. You guys know Boeing. My gripes with Boeing. I don't trade it often, but ALK and BA, those are the two relevant stock tickers here. Luckily, the jetliner was cruising at an altitude of 16,000 feet at the time of the incident, and no one was sitting in the two seats next to the affected area. As someone who is tall and sometimes will ask like, hey, if I can't get the exit row and someone doesn't show up, I'll ask like, hey, can I get moved into the exit row? Imagine the freaking exit door flying off and you just getting sucked out of the plane. That is terrifying. I might just not sit in the exit row anymore. Like this is, those memes where it's like new fear unlocked. Like I feel like this is like a new fear that has been unlocked. Let's see here. Though things could have ended a lot differently if the plane had been flying much higher. So if it was flying higher than that cruising altitude of 16,000 feet, might have been a much more bleak headline. So, in terms of clues, a probe is underway to examine the door plug, a panel where an optional emergency exit can be placed if a plane is manufactured with a high capacity seating configuration. All of Alaska's airlines aircrafts are permanently plugged, leading to many to speculate that something may have been wrong with the installation of bolts or the pressurization system aboard the plane. In response to the accident, the FAA temporarily grounded 171 Boeing 737 MAX 9 planes worldwide, requiring fresh inspections and safety checks before the plane variant returns to service. The missing door plug was also located in the backyard of a Portland, Oregon area resident. Wow, that's something weird. You're taking, little Fido out to use the bathroom, and then you just see a plain door or plug. I don't know what they mean by plug either, but I'm assuming just the door. That's what I'm seeing here. Um, Maybe I'm wrong, but that'd be a wild thing to come out to, just in the backyard taking a little walk. So, of course, this is bad news for Boeing shareholders as the stock opened the pre-market session down 9% to $226. That'll be something to watch here this morning because, it's kind of one of those things where a lot of times the first reaction is an overreaction or there could be a continuation. So, it'll be something where you watch that pre-market low, see if we lose it and continue to sell, or if we, maybe hold and start to bottom. But Boeing again is just something that I don't typically trade a lot because Boeing is just really annoying to trade. It's not to say that it's impossible. It's not to say that you shouldn't try. It's just I don't like trading Boeing. It is very, very annoying. So it's worked sometimes, but even the times that it works, I like still look at it sideways. It's like that cousin who doesn't ever come through and he finally comes through, but you can't even be that happy because of all the times he didn't. That's how it is with Boeing. It's like, listen, bro, I get it. You had a good day, but that doesn't mean that we're like this now, right? It doesn't mean we're like this. I still know what it is. Aerospace supplier Spirit Aerosystems, ticker SPR, which manufactures and installs the door plugs in question, also tumbled over 20% in early trade to $25 per share. With both companies involved in the complex two-tier installation process, seeking out investing group leader Dhiren Bikai believes the latest investigation will solely focus on the 737 MAX 9 deactivated doors, of which Boeing has around 300 in backlog by November 2023, and over 200 airplanes delivered. In terms of outlook, the entire situation could not have come at a worse time for Boeing. The stock was just recovering from lows last seen during COVID, as the U.S. plane maker attempted to ramp up output and take back the delivery crown from Airbus. Its French rival has held the top spot ever since the grounding of the Boeing 737 MAX in 2018, which was in response to two jetliner crashes that had killed 346 people. That is so many people. Like, I mean, I get it. Like, not a lot of people produce airplanes. That's literally the only reason why Boeing is still around, because that's insane. If any other company has that many people, other than like McDonald's or a cigarette company, 'cause we know, but it's not, I guess it's socially acceptable. Any other company, like, you're toast. Since then, it has been hard for Boeing to shake off financial and reputational damage, and the latest episode will likely put the company back in the crosshairs of regulators. In terms of economic news, spending levels, top congressional leaders have reached a $1.59 trillion bipartisan federal spending deal for the current fiscal year, significantly reducing the odds of a government shutdown next week. House Speaker Mike Johnson said the deal would secure $16 billion in additional spending cuts, with the top line figure including $886 billion for defense and $704 billion for non-defense spending. However, there appears to be some discord on the numbers discussed in the agreement. While President Biden hailed the bipartisan deal, Republicans have been more critical, with the House Freedom Caucus calling it a total failure. Who cares? At least they reached some type of deal that hopefully, ends up like just it's an age-old story. We kick the can further down the road, and it is what it is. Let me see here. I just remembered a little message that I need to send. So I'm going to take this note down right there so I don't forget it now. Now, in terms of energy news, supply and demand, while oil prices ended last week on a high note, they turned red on Monday as Saudi Aramco cut the February selling price of its flagship Arab Light crude to Asian customers amid rising supply, growing competition from rival suppliers, and demand concerns. Meanwhile, U.S. oil production is now near record levels, with weekly exports at a fresh high as the Red Sea crisis and resulting run-up in costs for diverting tankers have driven up demand for cheaper American crude. Traders are also closely watching the U.S. government's oil prices to replenish the strategic petroleum reserve, which may help in capping oil's slide. Yeah. So overall, it's one of those things where it's affecting crude abroad, but right now American crude is set up in a really great spot. And unfortunately, it's due to the Red Sea crisis. But that's how it goes. I didn't go out there and start hijacking ships. In terms of media news, next bankruptcy buckling under plunging advertising sales. Troubled radio and auto streaming giant Odyssey is filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy protection. Another one bites the dust. A restructuring plan would slash its debt from $1.9 billion to around $350 million, while Odyssey secured $57 million in DIP financing, which, along with its available cash and reserves, will enable it to fulfill its commitments to staff, advertisers, and partners. Quote, the perfect storm of sustained macroeconomic challenges over the past 4 years facing the traditional advertising market has led to a sharp reduction of several $billion in cumulative radio ad spending, CEO David Field declared. Odyssey shares, which were delisted from the New York Stock Exchange in November and now trade on the pink sheets, have dropped 97% over the past year. I said it once, I'll say it again. Just because it's publicly traded and it is a company does not mean it is required to stay solvent. Every stock that goes down will not come up, right? No matter how much time you give it. And that's not to say that this is dead, because we all know that in the year, right, in the time of the meme stock, you saying that you're declaring bankruptcy is pretty much telling degenerates to run and throw their money at you with far out of the money option contracts. So who knows, right? You might end up seeing some life that's pumped back into Odyssey, but it's just as like a meme zombie, because it's been a struggle for them, at least. I can imagine, in like radio advertising. I feel like the big tech guys, right? Google and Facebook, Meta, which you would normally pay for ads, right? Where a lot of people go for ads, they were struggling. So I know if they were struggling, radio was struggling. In terms of today's markets, looking mostly red, but not really down a lot here in the US of A. In Asia, Japan is closed. Hong Kong down 1.9%, China down 1.4%, India down 0.9%, London down 0.3%, and Europe, Paris flat, Frankfurt up 0.2%, the Dow down 0.4%, S&P down 0.1%, NASDAQ flat, So that gives me the immediate kind of idea that tech is more so holding up than other sectors. Crude oil down 2.9%, gold down 1.1, Bitcoin up 2%. Today's economic calendar, nothing super important going on. So we'll finish up here with our rapid fire stock news rundown. Let me check back in on you guys. Okay, cool. Everybody over here still alive and kicking, doing well. So our rapid fire news rundown and close this out. Is your EV underperforming EPA range estimates? I don't know. Don't have an EV. Florida wins FDA nod for mass drug imports from Canada. Congrats. Harpoon, ticker HARP, surges as Merck eyes $700 million acquisition. So Harpoon, again, their ticker HARP, their stock going up. Merck, who's doing the buying, their stock going down. Lithium prices poised to continue lower, but Genesee's bottom. Kroger Albertsons merger terms are still being hammered out. Walgreens, ticker WBA, dividend cut may hasten its exit from Dow. Apple bull Dan Ives is ubiquitous, but not always right. Thanks. I don't think anybody's always right. Eyes on consumer finance stocks with delinquencies on the rise. Major retail conference kicks off today. Watch these stocks. And then Oppenheimer dominates the 81st Golden Globes. So that's it for this week, right? The second week in January and the first full week of market movement. I'm excited for that. We're getting into earnings season, right? So there'll be a lot of opportunity, right, in the up and coming weeks for those post earnings type plays. We've got positive sentiment, heading into this year with, interest rates looking to go down. So I'm excited to see kind of the outlook from these companies as well as we head into March, particularly, right? January, February, and then March, when they're supposed to start that decrease, right? Start that decline in interest rates. So excited to get after it this week to make it another great week, guys. As always, you're trying to get 1% better each and every day, and you did that just by being here for this session. Now it's time to go out and execute, right? Information never changed anyone's life. Execution did. So make sure you use this, you leverage it for your own good, right? And continue to just be a better person every time you lay your head to that pillow to go to sleep. Everybody have a great rest of the day. Hope you enjoyed this. Make sure you check out the content over there on Instagram. Like that, save that, send that. Friends don't let friends stay broke. So let's make sure we're spreading the word of this opportunity. And we continue to get better. Put one foot in front of the other each day. Have a great day, everybody. I'll see you back here tomorrow for our next pre-market prep session. Have a good one.